Okay, our next lesson on research methods, we're going to look at official statistics. We're on page 29 in the book. So we're going to learn about this secondary source information. And secondary means you haven't collected it. Secondary source information, i.e. official government stats, you didn't collect them, somebody else did. We understand its strengths and weaknesses, what's good about using these, what's bad about using them. Keywords are government, census, you know that every few years come under the census, a big questionnaire everyone has to do, a census, planning, purpose, politics, untrustworthy, unreliable, unemployment definition. Right, okay. The government every single year collects untold pages of data on us. Yeah? Not for any sinister reason. Governments need to know things so they can plan. So they have government departments, big, these are them, big offices full of social scientists, sociologists, etc., who are collecting data. They want to know stuff. It's called, it's not secret, it's called the Office of National Statistics. They're the ones that publish the crime data, for example. So 4 million, 8 million is the years, the amount of crime. All done by them. So here's colour-coded murders in London. You can see where the most murders happened. So we're down here, New Addington. Yeah, not too bad. Up here, where's that? Lambeth. Must be the worst one. Stats, government stats, for really, really sensible reasons. They need to know how many kids there are, so they know how many school places to run, etc., etc. Yeah. So, little chart, how do we get around this? Official stats are the data, the numbers gathered by the government to help them run the country officially. So it's stats on crime, unemployment, schools, deaths. Mega useful for us in sociology because there's tons of it and it's all done for you. It's free. Brilliant. But we have to be careful how reliable it is. We have to know why the data was gathered and how they counted it. We have to know about its validity. Yeah, we've got a few examples in class. Unemployment is a dodgy one to put that in one class. Suicide, to put that in a minute. I hope you've already got your heads around that crime data is almost always wrong, recorded crimes. So the official stats are useful as long as you know what the problems are. So, I'll give you a famous example from sociology. Emile Durkheim is one of the founding fathers of sociology. And he did some work on suicide, and he found that the suicide rates in Italy and Denmark were different. Many, many more people appeared to commit suicide in Denmark than in Italy. Years later, he would look into this again, replicate Durkheim's work, and they come up with an idea. Well, here's the problem. How do you get written down as a suicide? You get written down suicide if a coroner to a doctor says it on the report. That's a suicide. You don't get to decide it's a suicide. The coroner does. And in countries like Denmark and in countries like Italy, the coroner might write things down differently. Italy is a Roman Catholic country. If you're a Roman Catholic, killing yourself is a mortal sin. So a coroner might decide to write somebody up as an accident when he knows they're a suicide because it would really upset the family. Yeah. If somebody commits a mortal sin, if to a Catholic, that means they are definitely going to hell. So the coroner might think they've killed themselves, it's bad enough as it is, I will just lie and say it's an accident to save the family all the worry that goes with committing a mortal sin. Whereas in Denmark, the coroner might be less likely to do that. So the official stats for suicide in these two countries are different, but not for the reason people think they are.